Are they cheating?
Chances are, yep, they're cheating.
But just to make sure, it's the Dave Ryan Show's War of the Roses on 101.3 KDWB.
Every War of the Roses is a little bit different. There's only one War of the Roses with Nick the Stoner.
True.
There's only one with Ronnie G. There's only one where somebody said they got abducted by an alien.
Oh, that was a classic, though.
There was one where somebody would, put their phone behind boxes at a Target so their phone tracking, like Find My iPhone, would show them at Target while they were off cheating.
Let us not forget the Sprite bottle.
The Sprite bottle was another one. I think you're going to remember this one because it'll be the Maggie War of the Roses, because Maggie is writing in kind of like a good War of the Roses, but off the air she just told me something that's like, whoa, are you serious? It's a very devious little trick. Hi, Maggie. Hi. We were chatting and you were talking about your boyfriend Josh and the challenge that you have with guys like Josh.
Yeah, so, as I was saying to you, I was in pageants when I was a kid and, I did some modeling. And so, I'm not like a vain or narcissistic person. It's just kind of a fact that I happen to be pretty attractive and, I'm a charming, funny person. And so naturally I kind of gravitate towards the same. The problem is, many of the guys, if not most of them or all lately, are players. They're players because they're good looking, they're confident, which is what I'm into. And it gets old just kind of being cheated on. So I'm currently seeing this guy, Josh, and he's great. And we're right at that point where it's like, should we be exclusive? And I just want to make sure before I proceed that I don't get my heart crushed again. So
now I
was calling in to do War of the Roses with him, and then you and I got in this other.
Well, yeah, and you got to hear the story because I'll have you tell that in a second. But I want to back up to the fact where you said, I'm attractive, I was in pageants, I've done modeling. That might sound, to somebody like me who's very average, that might sound really arrogant because most of us will not ever in our lives say, I'm very attractive, I've been in pageants, I've been modeling. But for you, it's a fact of life. And
I kind of respect it because I think it's worse if someone is super attractive and they try to pretend like they're average like us. And we're like, all right, you're more attractive than us. Don't pretend like you're like us commoners.
Well, I think it kind of puts it in context. It's true, Fallon, because if you're attractive, you're going to date guys that are more attractive, that probably have nicer hair, nicer cars, nicer teeth, nicer job, whatever, maybe. But then those people are also more attractive to other potential people. So you've been burned before by hot guys like Josh.
Exactly. And the last one had told me that he'd been separated for a while, which is common a lot, I think, lately in the online dating world. And you're like, it's cool. I get it. He told me they'd been separated for like 2 years. And come to find out, he is still very much married, and I found his wife on Facebook and then also on Instagram, and I was like, why would he cheat on her? Like, she's so pretty and just seems like such a great person. And I don't know where this came from. I just contacted her just to hang out as like friends, and she responded. And so initially my plan was to just meet her for coffee. We had a couple mutual friends and a couple of, mutual, we like the same things. We
had some things in common.
Yeah, we have some things in common. We end up in bed together, and I haven't told her about him at this point at all. And to be honest, I didn't feel bad. I felt like if she's into it and he's doing this, I just didn't feel bad. But so we're in bed and we decided to take a selfie together and, just kind of share it with one another. I think that was kind of the idea. But I'm sorry, I had to text it to him. So I did.
Oh.
And it felt pretty good.
Oh.
And so I sent it to him, and then I was like, oh, my God, what did I just do? And so I immediately blocked his number.
I have so many questions. So many
Yeah.
questions. So
Right.
it's none of my business, but do you normally hook up with men and women? Or did you just say, have such a vendetta against this guy, I'm going to hook up with his wife?
I mean, I feel like the difference between a bisexual person and a straight person is like 2 glasses of wine. So, yeah, I had a couple glasses with her, and maybe I've done that with some other women. But
Okay, and maybe she's the same way, because if she's married to a guy, maybe a couple of glasses of wine. But you, at some point, went from, I'm going to tell her, to, I got an even better idea. I'm going to hook up with his wife, send him a picture, and then ghost him, and you don't know what transpired, what happened with her and him since then.
I never heard from her again.
I was just going to ask you if you ever heard from her.
I did that. Yeah,
Okay.
I still can't believe I did that. Yeah.
But you had said earlier you felt bad for her because he cheated on her. Then again, she pretty easily cheated on him
it does
too.
Seem like that. Like if it's that easy, it does make you wonder if that was her first time doing that. But I guess you don't know.
Can you imagine,
don't care,
though?
probably.
But here's the funny thing that amazes me, that you know that you are desirable enough, whatever adjective you want to use, that you could approach this strange woman, and you had a really good chance of seducing her, getting her into bed.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and sometimes, being really attractive is a curse, because you don't know if people are using you or they are actually into your personality.
Yeah, no, I think that's true, yeah.
It's like, I know it sounds like, yeah, right. I mean, ooh, boo-hoo.
But boo-hoo, but there's your evidence that it really is that powerful. Okay, so let's get back to Josh. This was just kind of like a sidebar story with the guy that was married and the wife.
Oh yeah, I'm distracted. I forgot we're not even talking about Josh. We gotta go back to Josh.
So we want to call Josh, the new guy, and see whether he's just another guy who's like a player and hooking up with several different people, or whether he's into you. Because it seems like, from what you said, it seems like Josh is into you and you're into him.
I really am, and I'm, fingers crossed. I'm just kind of hoping it feels real.
Okay.
So.
Well, we can help you find out, because what we'll do is we'll call Josh and say, hey, take a survey from your bank, and if you do, we'll send roses to whoever you want to, and then hopefully he would send them to you, Maggie, and hopefully not somebody else, and then you have something to go on before you find out that he's married.
Oh, no.
Okay, I'm kidding.
I'm not seeing anyone else. I'm just seeing Josh, so
Okay.
I just, yeah.
Well, good luck with this. We'll come back in a second and we'll make this phone call. In the meantime, can you believe her story? Can you imagine the confidence to be like, I'm going to get revenge by sleeping with this guy's wife? What do you think? Did she go too far by taking a picture of them together and sending it to him? Also, can you imagine the freaking shock of opening that text message, and there is the woman that you had an affair with in bed with your wife?
Well, and he can't get mad at his wife.
Wow. What do you think? Send me a text at KDWB1 53921, or better yet, call me at 651-989-KDWB. Love to hear your analysis before we make the phone call on War of the Roses. And also, attorney Jonathan Fogel will be here with a legal analysis coming up. And probably, Jonathan's seen it all. This probably doesn't even make him blink.
Probably not.
Back to the War of the Roses on the Dave Ryan Show on KDWB.
All right, War of the Roses on KDWB. Somebody said the longest 2 minutes of their life is waiting for the song to end before we make the phone call on War of the Roses.
They're wrong.
I'm going to just give you a quick little recap. So she's seen a guy. She thinks that because he's gorgeous, he's cheating, because she is also, admittedly, she's gorgeous, and she says that she's been cheated on by gorgeous guys. The most memorable of which was a gorgeous married guy. She didn't know he was married. He said he was separated, so she seduced his wife, took a picture of her and his wife naked from the chest up, so no nude body parts or anything, obviously naked, cuddling in bed, sent it to the husband. Can you imagine the shock? So we got text messages. Who is he going to send the roses to? Ashley, what do you think of her anyway?
The first thing I thought of when, she said that she was really, attractive and she only looks for attractive guys, I think that's really condescending, first of all. I do think that beauty is only skin deep, and if she is only looking for really attractive guys, maybe she's not looking for the whole package because, it doesn't, just because you're attractive doesn't mean you're a great person.
Agreed.
I also think that if she's willing to cheat on people, then maybe she deserves to be cheated on because that's not something that I think is a valuable trait at all. And if she's going to go put that out there, then maybe, she just has what's coming to her.
What do you think about the wife who cheated on her husband with this woman? What do you think about her?
I don't think that's okay either. It's bad on both of them, but maybe there's something going on with this husband and wife that they're, not letting on to other people. Maybe they're in an open relationship. Maybe they're okay with it.
Yeah.
Because clearly the husband told Maggie that he is, separated. So maybe they're just, some people just don't go through with a divorce, and some people are fine cohabitating.
And you never know. And
You
that's the
don't
thing
know,
is
yeah.
you don't know what's going on. We make the phone call in a couple of seconds. First, though, Jasmine, what do you think? Did she go too far, or was she justified to seduce his wife and then send a picture of them in bed together to the husband?
So I think she went a little too far in some areas of it. The reaching out to the wife, she had good intentions, and then taking the picture, that's fine, but sending it to him, that was, to me, too far. And then she said that he lied to her about him and his wife being separated, but she never got to that part with the wife, so she never got the whole story. Maybe they were separated, but they just haven't finalized the divorce yet.
And is there like going too far for punishing somebody for anything like that? If you are shoplifting, they don't give you life in prison. They give you like probation or a fine or whatever. So he cheated. Should he be punished? Yeah, probably. But is that too much of a punishment? That's another thing that you can talk about amongst yourselves. We got one more call from Aaron. Then we make the phone call.
We got a lot of text too.
We got a lot of input on this reaction. Aaron, was she justified to send the picture of her in bed with his wife?
Absolutely.
Tell me why.
Well, I'm a teacher, and my motto for my kids is if you're choosing the behavior, you choose the consequences. So if you're choosing to cheat on your spouse, you have to accept some consequences of like some crazy-ish might go down.
That is some crazy-ish, and that's a good lesson for your kids. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate it.
It says any guy who can get one gorgeous woman can get 5 others. I'm never surprised when hot people get cheated on. Someone else, there actually were multiple people saying the fact that the guy she's checking on is named Josh, they already know the answer. Every guy named Josh is a player, apparently.
That's not fair.
Which I
It's
know.
funny, though.
It is funny. The irony of this hypocritical narcissist talking about having a personality is like fingernails on a chalkboard. Get over yourself.
Wow.
A lot of people said, this guy is loving it. The one that she hooked up with the wife. He had an affair, and now he knows she'll sleep with his wife. You know what he's hoping for.
Let's make the phone call. We got a ton of text messages.
many.
We saw everyone. I wish we could read them all. Let's make the phone call right now. Then we'll talk to Jonathan Fogel and get his view on the whole thing. He's a divorce attorney, family law. That's coming up. Making the phone call right now.
And we're going to send out a dozen long stem romantic roses this week for you, Josh, to anyone you would like. So what we do is we grab the name from you. We'll get a little note for the card also, and then I'll grab the address, okay?
Okay, cool. Yeah, you can make them out to my girlfriend, Maggie. And I guess just say, hey, I missed you, and I'm thinking about you.
Okay, perfect. Great note. Simple and to the point. I like it.
Now here comes the plot twist. And Josh, I have to tell you kind of what that plot twist is because it comes out of nowhere. That was a fake survey.
Yeah.
There are no real flowers, and my job is not as a bank representative giving you a survey, and I don't work with the girl you just talked. I work over at a radio station, KWB. My name's Dave. That was Fallon, who's also on KWB.
Hi.
And we were calling to test you, Josh, to see if you would send roses to Maggie or someone else. But, of course, we didn't do this out of the blue. Maggie put us up to this. He's so quiet. He's always okay. There he is. I was worried that he hung up.
Well, yeah.
So Maggie's listening right now, Josh. And Maggie wanted to find out whether you would send roses to her or someone else. Maggie, you heard the whole thing, right, Maggie?
Yeah.
Explain to Josh, if you can, why you did that, Maggie.
Josh, I've been cheated on a lot, and you seem so great, and I'm really hoping that this is going to be different for me and that you were going to be, special, and apparently you are, because that is exactly what I was hoping you would do with this whole War of the Roses thing. I'm sorry I kind of tricked you, but I thought this would be a foolproof way of finding out, and you passed the test, and, I know nobody likes to be tested, but I'm really into you, and I'm really glad that you chose me and not somebody else, because I'm not seeing anybody else.
I appreciate hearing you say that. I know that it's probably hard coming from what you've been through. I like you. I care about you. I'm not crazy that you went on the radio to find out that I would be faithful, but I understand it. But just so you know, I was raised Catholic, so I don't cheat and I never will. It's more of a guilt thing than anything. So.
So
thank you.
You have this incredible guilt that keeps you from doing anything horribly immoral.
It's a blessing and a curse.
Okay, well, Maggie, how do you feel? So there, you got the response you wanted, the result you wanted. How do you feel?
I feel kind of bad that I may have hurt Josh's feelings, but I feel way more secure, and that helps me drop my guard a little bit, and so I'm excited for our next date. To be honest.
I'm excited too. I think that if you feel a little bit more comfortable now, then I feel better too.
God, what a nice guy, seriously.
No kidding, yeah.
I think I'd be so annoyed that somebody did this. I'd be like, you know what? We're going to talk about this later.
You would.
Can't believe you trapped me like that.
You would.
But you know what? I don't want to say it sounds so cliche, but you sound like a keeper. So
you do.
Josh, thanks for being on. Maggie, thanks for telling us your story. That's the best story I've heard this week. So
No kidding.